Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Coffee Time with Coach John. We in the building. It is 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock, and I got to get on the plane a little bit. And I'm just waking up not too long ago, just so you know. So I'm here, but damn it, I ain't here, right? So we just tuned in on IG. We was talking about moving out of the country and places to go. And so where would you move to? John, you did. Tiffany, I'm fired. I apologize. I apologize. Tiffany in the building. I'm so sorry I didn't speak to you. Please don't kick my ass. I don't want to get my ass kicked. Um, um, but yes, I'm thinking about moving to a place where the U.S. dollar carries a lot of weight. But I also want to go someplace where it's got to be ocean. Like it's got to be like ocean. I need to walk out my house and I can see the ocean. Like I don't want to see somebody's little beach. I don't even know if I want a private beach. I don't even know if I want that. Now I might, because that could be really nice. That could be really nice. But I do know that it has to be like wide open. Like I want to see ocean. I want to walk out and be like, damn, this is what it is right here, right? So, but then there's some places that I just wanted to go to, like Costa Rica. I wanted to go to Ecuador. I wanted to go to El Salvador. I know they had a basketball camp that was taking place down there decades ago. And I was supposed to be in that basketball camp because brother got game. Yeah, so Teresa, good morning. I was supposed to go out there, but Puerto Rico is still part of the U.S., so money don't travel really far in Puerto Rico. It's still part of U.S. territory, so U.S. dollar doesn't carry far. And so if all the others on you, like think about that, because when you travel outside of the country, a lot of people retire and move out of the country. So they do that because their money takes them further than it does here. And my thing is, people always be like, I don't want to move because I'm going to miss my family. And the funny thing is, most people say that don't go visit their family anyway. Don't even go visit their family. Don't see them. Don't talk to them. Or they might talk to them on phones and stuff like that, but they don't go see their family. So I'm like, I can leave. Because I can take my mom with me. That ain't no issue. She can just come on and go. I'm like, look, rent your place. The money that you get from rent, you can live off of that money. You don't have to work. That's what I'm trying to go. So where else would y'all like to go? We got Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is not going to happen because I could just go visit there. I'm not moving to Puerto Rico. Somebody said, hey, Venus. Hey, girl. Hey, that's funny. Where else? Somebody put it up in the post. Silent Poem, what's good? Greece. Now, I want to go visit Greece. I don't know if I want to live in Greece, but I don't know that I don't want to live there. But I want to go visit Greece. Have you seen the waters and just pictures? Every time you see pictures of Greece, it looks so awesome. It's so awesome. Juicy, I knew you would say Greece because a lot of black people don't say Greece. If they don't travel outside the world, they don't think about Greece. Greece has been one of my places. I also want to go to Barcelona, Spain. Right? I want to visit Italy. I want to visit Madagascar in Africa because I want to see. Now I got to learn how to swim though, but I want to see the fish under the water. You know what I'm saying? I want to see the fish underwater. Those pretty fish. Okay, Silent Poet, that's what's up. They're going through some serious economic stuff over there. Just like wow, we're in Greece, no problem. I'm not moving right now anyway, so I got some stuff to do. There's still shit to be done here. I was raised by a Greek man. He used to tell me stories. Yeah, I've watched. So for y'all that don't know, when I used to work with professional basketball players, some of the men, they were my main boy. He was from Greece, and we used to train together all the time. And he played in second division Spain. He played in I think he was going to go to Belgium. But anyway, there's a couple of places that he played in. One of the guys I worked in. He played in Japan. Somebody played in. They had spots in the Netherlands. So it's like pro basketball teams is the thing all over different places. A couple of females that went to WNBA. I worked out with. That's how I met Charlotte Smith. Charlotte Smith is dope. I love her to pieces. I remember getting tickets to go to one of the games, and we watched Carolina in the final. Yeah, so I love the architecture of Greece. Yes, listen, they have some of the best their images. Like when you see their postcards and pictures of just how they live. Yeah, I can see that. And Greek people have really good restaurants. Hey, Miss Francetta, have really good restaurants here in well, I'm not in North Carolina right now, but when I get home, they have good restaurants in North Carolina, and I eat at those places all the time. In fact, my man Bill, his parents owned the restaurant, and I used to go there all the time. That was the last time it was when I was used to eat beef. They used to make hamburger steak. Oh my gosh. And then they made I used to get beef tips over rice, and it was chicken breast. Chicken strips over rice. It was chicken breast with lots of onions and peppers and this sauce that they use, and they put it over your rice. And I would get that, or I would get mashed potatoes. I love I can eat mashed potatoes probably every day. But I know it's not good to eat that much potatoes. But yeah, I could probably eat mashed potatoes every day. But yeah, and Greek people they cook very well. They cook very well. I don't know why. I don't know which one of our ancestors they learned how to cook from, but because a lot of Greek philosophers were taught by Africans. A lot of Greek. Well, come on, they stole a lot of stuff. But with the Greeks, some of their philosophers were not enemies of our ancestors, but they actually learned from them. I don't know. I'm not saying that because I don't know if this is or not, but I don't know of a big war thing between our ancestors and the Greek people. I don't know that. Now, it could have been, but I just don't know. Ja, you think you could eat all the mashed potatoes you want? No. I don't think I can, but I do like them. I love them when they make the cheddar mashed potatoes and the garlic mashed potatoes. I love. Like, I'm just a mashed potato lover. And then when they make mashed potatoes with the sour cream, you ever had somebody make it with the sour cream? Oh yeah, mashed potatoes is really, really good. And I can eat them all the time. I don't know if I could eat them. It's not good to eat a lot of potatoes. We'll just say that. It's not good to eat a lot of potatoes. So I will hope to not eat potatoes to the point to where it's busting out my ears, because that's not good. That's not good. Where's Mike? Anybody seen Mike? I'm not used to Mike not being here. Let me make sure I send him a kite, because I'm used to Mike being in the building. And soul brother number one, blood brother. I always call him soul brother, even though he say blood brother. I always call him soul brother. But I'm not used to Mike not being here. Where Mike at? That's not good for me. Not that I don't love y'all, but Mike is supposed to be here. If nobody else is supposed to be here, Mike is supposed to be here. So where he at? Let me find him. I'm gonna send him a kite. So if you type something, just hold on a second. I'll get you back in a minute. Let me find Mike. I can't even find his name and thing. Well, he's in one of those groups, so he's got it. He's got it. I woke up singing Jamie Foxx. I'm a Jamie Foxx fan. If y'all don't like Jamie Foxx, I don't know what to tell you. I make mine with sour cream and cream cheese. Yeah, that's how I make mine, with sour cream. Yes. Great. How I want the mashed potato. Great. Now I want the mashed potatoes. Yeah. See, you should go ahead and get your mashed potatoes on. Get them popping. Daybreak. Good morning to you. Get the mashed potatoes popping. And so, Frugal, what's up, Frugal? So, like, I don't celebrate holidays, but I don't knock people who do. So, what are some of the things y'all doing for holidays? Is anybody cooking? If you're cooking ham and stuff like that, you don't got to share all that. I don't want no nasty ham in my mind. But what y'all celebrating? What are y'all doing? I used to enjoy going to my aunt's house for when she cooked. And I will say she used to cook this big, the Spanish people call it pernil, but it's pork shoulder. And she used to always have this pork shoulder going on. And I don't know, it used to light up the house. I don't know if it was my favorite smell, but it used to light up the house. And I miss that. I miss that. That's the thing that I don't like about this time of year. I end up missing sleep and cooking gumbo. Yes, Venus, cook that gumbo, mama. That's what I'm talking about. I miss having that time. My uncle Phil used to come by, and he'd be a little saucy, and he'd be in the room, and he'd be talking to you, and he always used to tell me to keep doing what you're doing, keep doing what you're doing. In fact, a lot of my get up and go, I could still hear my uncle's voice telling me to keep doing what I'm doing. And he would say, "My Auntie Lane is in the building. Good morning, Auntie." My Uncle Phil would say things like, because my birth name is Daoud, or Daoud is what, and but my uncle used to say it like Africans would say it, and say Dow, and he used to say Dow, keep doing what you're doing, and I could still hear him saying that, and that kind of motivates me to do a lot of stuff. I miss my Uncle Harold. My Uncle Harold would come over, he'd be saucy, and he'd be singing all the Christmas songs wrong, all of them, just singing them wrong for no reason, man, and oh my gosh, it just used to be a hell of a time at my Aunt Jeannie house. I miss that part of the holidays because it was those times where family would get together for no reason at all. And we would go to my aunt's house regularly. Like my aunt's house was the spot to go to, and we would stay there. Everybody's coming to my aunt's house. In fact, everybody would come and walk in Brooklyn. They would walk past our house where we lived at. They walk past our building to go a couple of blocks down to go to my aunt's house. And man, that was so much fun. Everybody was there. You would definitely you would see everybody you want to see when holiday time came. My Uncle Cairo would be there, blasting music from his van, and then making you sit inside while listen to the music, and he go his ass inside the house when the music just be playing. And for whatever reason, he had it on a timer. I guess it's the military. He had it on the timer because right before the song ended, he'd come back out and start the shit over. Now, mind you, a teenager, I'm trying to chill and shit. Like, I'm trying to go hang out. There's probably some girls I'm trying to go see if they got perfume on or something. And this dude got me sitting in the damn van listening to this damn music. Guess that was his way of keeping us out of trouble. I'll live with that. I'll go with that. But man, it was just, that's the stuff that I miss about the holidays. I miss them too. Jeannie cooking was always on point, right? Aunt Elaine, like my aunt Jeannie used to cook everything there, and everybody went there because they knew that number one, all the doors and the windows was gonna be open. It was gonna be freezing in the house, even if it was snowing. They knew that, and they also knew that we was gonna be cooking and jamming, and music was gonna be playing, and we was gonna have all the fun in the world. It was just so much freaking fun being there, and I think a lot of times that's the part we miss about the holidays. And so let's do this. If you are, post your favorite holiday moments with your family, right? Let's post that. Let's talk about that. But let's take some time during these holidays and remember the good things about those that are no longer here with us. Let's write them a letter. Let's start something different, right? And if we do that, if y'all write them a letter or write them a poem, I'll consider doing a live, and we can go on live and we can share our stories. I'll bring people up, and I think sometimes that's a sense of relief, and that's like therapy because you get to actually talk to them and remember their smiles. And I'm gonna tell you, so the reason that I guess I woke up like this morning because I did the Beyonce. I woke up like this. That was Beyonce, right? I think so. But anyway, I was dreaming about my daughter's grandfather, and he passed, and this was his time of year. Like he absolutely would turn into a different person, and not that he was mean, but he was an older man. Old men, they get in their ways, and that's just who it is. They just locked down, and he was, and we know he had some medical things, but we didn't know the extent of it all that time. But I dreamt about him last night, and it always bothered me because when he went, once we didn't know he was in the hospital, and then I went to go visit him. When the neighbor said, "Listen, he was in the hospital," I went to go visit him, and when I walked inside and he looked and saw me, his face lit up. His face lit up, and I was so happy to see him happy, and I stayed there with him and we talked and everything, and I would go see him every day. And then when he got out of the hospital, I was taking him back and forth to his to get his chemotherapy and to do his dialysis. And when you take that time to spend that time with somebody and you're helping them through their time, and helping them get their medicines and medications and treatment, you develop a really, really, really loving relationship with them. You actually become closer than what you thought it was. And I used to come pick him up. He'd want to drive through uptown, and it was just a good time. And then when he got sick again and he went to the hospital that last time, you know, they said it was gonna call in hospice, and that was not a good thing for me. That hurt me, and it's because of, you know, over the weeks we had gotten so close, like we had really, really gelled, and you know, I was hoping to see him here longer, and the one day I was like, you know, I was going with my daughter's mom to the store, and I was like, yo, I want to go see him, and she was saying that this is it's her dad, and she was saying she didn't want to go, and I'm like, nah, I want to go. So well, let me go to the store first, and then we go. And then hospice had called and said that you know, he something had happened and they didn't know what it was. But in hospice, they don't do anything. In hospice, that's just it. I fucking hate it. And when we got in the store, she got another call and he didn't make it. And I was so I felt like something was calling me to be there with him. And I guess, you know, things happen for a reason. Maybe I wasn't supposed to be there. Maybe I wasn't supposed to be there. Maybe that would have been too traumatic for me. But I just had this. I wanted to be there in that moment, and maybe that was him telling me that, yo, look, I'm going to go ahead and, you know, this is I'm not going to I'm going to give up. This is not for me. I don't want to be here much longer. Maybe that was his thing, because we don't understand that, right? We don't understand that part. But it hurt me that I wasn't, because I felt like I should have been. He has two sons. Neither one of his sons even showed up to come see him when he was ill. Neither of them saw him in the hospital. By the time one of his sons did show up, his youngest son, by the time he showed up, it was at the funeral. And so I was the closest thing to family for him, because his friend wasn't about shit. He was stealing shit from him, taking his money. They took his money. Anyway, I'm gonna get into that. But I dreamt of him last night, and we were working, because I used to work with him sometimes too. I dreamt of him last night, and we were working, and he was just smiling, like he was so happy, and he was carrying this box, and I don't remember what it was he was taking, because he drove trucks, and man, it was such a good dream. I wasn't sad. I woke up in time, which was good, because I don't like having bad dreams. All my dreams with my PTSD end up as bad dreams, but yeah. And so I'm saying I dreamt about him. It was a really good dream, and so that's probably why I'm in this mode. So I want to encourage us. Listen, you're missing your family now. Write them a letter. Talk to them. Talk about it. Talk about it out loud. Right. Sit on the phone with somebody. Call somebody. Talk about them, and make yourself feel better. Don't sit in the uglier parts of it. Don't sit in the parts that you don't like. Um, It'll be just me and my mom spending mother and daughter time together this year, watching movies and eating. Teresa Bryant, that is awesome. I'm going to spend time with my mom, even though we don't celebrate holidays. I'm going to spend time with my mom. I absolutely love spending time with my Omi. And I was just saying that yesterday, that when I get back, I need to spend some time with her. Fugu said, I'm going to surprise my boys and set up campgrounds in the backyard. Yo, Frugal, that's dope. Take pictures, okay? I want to see pictures. I want to see pictures. Elaine said, that's what we do. Let me read some of these messages over here. Tiffany said, I cooked another cake yesterday, and I'm making strawberry cheesecake today. Turkey dressing, mac and cheese, greens, candy yams, deviled eggs, pinto beans. You can keep the ham, but damn, Tiffany, really? That's how you giving it up? No, Paul said, opening presents at midnight on the 24th, and on the 25th, going to Frazier Park for the show. Okay, that's what's up. Tiffany said, my favorite time is playing a great game of Uno with my family on Christmas Day, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. That's what's up. I love playing Uno. Well, when I'm in the mood, like if I'm in the mood, I ain't playing. For someone not wanting to talk about ham, you bringing up pork shoulder. Right, though, Paul, I don't even know, but my aunt used to cook. Listen, my aunt used to cook this pork shoulder, and when holidays come, that's one of the things that you always remembered about her. She always had that pork shoulder. She had, you know, the glass pots, and they're like a brownish color, but you can see through them. She had one of those. She had a whole set, obviously, but she had the big one, and she used to put that pork shoulder. I think she was making barbecue out of it. Now, when she chopped it up and made the barbecue, she put the barbecue sauce. Man, that stuff smelled good, but I just, I never ate it because it's pork. My favorite memory is shopping with my dad. He was so fly, and although he wasn't fond of the mall, he would take me, my sister, and my god sister shopping. That's beautiful, Frugal. I do not like shopping. I don't like shopping. In fact, I don't mind going to the grocery store, but I'm not a shopper, and I just don't like it, man. Like, I don't even like shopping for stuff for me. I hate it. I want to go in the store know what I want, see it, buy it, and get the hell out of the store. That's it. Like, I don't want to spend all this time trying to figure out of this color better than that color. Let me try this on, and maybe this jacket will fit. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I don't like it. I don't want to spend that much time. I'll definitely share pictures. Thanks, Frugal. That's all. Listen, my cousin. Okay, so my Aunt Elaine is in here, right? She's on YouTube right now. My cousin Amanda, her daughter, came, and I haven't seen Amanda since she was probably, oh my gosh, I mean, just a little bitty thing. I mean, she might have been 4 or something. I mean, she was really young. I don't even think she was walking the last time I saw her. She looks just like her father, my Uncle Norman. And I told her, I said, oh my gosh, you look just like your dad. And it's funny because she sounds just like my aunt. So she looks exactly like her father, but sounds just like my aunt. It's really, really, really crazy. I can't even explain how that happened. But we sat here, and I'm glad because I didn't get to call you back. But here's what I want to say. I really did not want to not see my aunt, but it was some stuff that my cousin and I had to talk about that she was going through. If you're going through something, I'm gonna tell you this, that things happen for a reason. And maybe she wasn't able to share that conversation if it was not just she and I. And I gave her some great advice, and I told her some things that she should try to help her when she's not feeling her best. And her face lit up. And I'm gonna tell you, you know, our creator, God, Jehovah, whatever you want to call him, Allah, whatever you call the creator that you believe in, he plants things in us. You know what I mean? Our ancestors know that we come from a great and mighty people. We have things in us that are far bigger than what we think. And we don't know why we're being trained in a way, but we're all being taught and trained in a certain way. You have a gift, you have something to give someone, and you don't have a choice. You have to give that to them. You have to give them that thing. And I was so grateful to be that for my cousin last night. And oh my gosh, she bought me. I posted. Look on my Instagram and my Facebook. They made me this crab bowl. Whew, there's no way I could eat, but I tried to eat all of it. I tried to eat every bit of it, and I maybe that's why I was sleeping like that. But I tried to eat every bit of it. It was amazing. And yeah, Auntie, don't cry, and cry happy tears. Cry happy tears, because here's what I do know. I don't believe in coincidence. I don't believe you can believe in God or energies or universe, whatever people do, right? I try to incorporate everybody because I don't denounce any of one's beliefs, right? But whatever you believe in, I don't believe that things happen coincidentally. I believe things happen the way they're supposed to happen. And there's something that happens in every moment that's supposed to be given and received. And I think that's what we forget about bad situations, uneasy situations, and even happy situations. Sometimes there are things that are to be delivered that we don't even understand why that happened that way, or what was the purpose of it, but it happens. And we just have to sit in that and believe and trust in your creator, trust in your God, and know that he gave you everything you need to make that happen. And you people come to you, and your service to this world is giving them what the creator given you, right? And I strongly believe in that. And I did not know the power in that until I really didn't understand the power in that until I gotten older and I got back into writing. I promise you that. Because I was always the one that I went to people's funeral, and I don't like funerals, but I would always go to people's funerals. I didn't mind going to visit people in the hospital. I didn't mind going to visit people when they were sick, and I would take them groceries if I needed to. Whatever it was, I'm that guy. I would travel to go to somebody's funeral, and I don't like funerals, but I just feel like and I don't know what it is in me, but when someone passes, the level of respect that you give by showing up to their funeral, I'm going to be there for that. I'm going to be there for that. Amanda and I will love on each other and reminisce about Uncle Norman and the God life he provided for us. The good life he provided for us. Norman was a great husband and provider. I miss him. Aunt Elaine, I'm going to tell you, I told Amanda, I said, listen, I loved your father and your father loved me. I know my Uncle Norman loved me. And I should tell her how he would come from the Bronx, Every time he was when he had sneakers and stuff, he would come and give me stuff. He would give me money if he could. He would come and specifically come and see me, and I'm so grateful for that. And I don't, you know, I hate that I missed so much of the life with y'all, but I do know my Uncle Norman was who you wanted. I know he was good for you, and that's the only uncle I know with you, and that's a beautiful thing. Um, I don't know Ron's dad, but I do know my Uncle Norman, and I know that that man right there was my uncle, and I didn't go with okay, that's my aunt's husband. No, that was Uncle Norman. He would always be that to me, and I loved him, and I'm grateful to have had spent time with him, and I'm glad that you know y'all had the union that you had, because if not, where would I wouldn't have my beautiful cousin. Jim Dukes is in the building. What's up, Jim? Miss you, bro. I'll be home tomorrow, man. I'll be home today, not tomorrow. Come home today. But yeah, so like I said, take this holiday time, right? Whatever you're celebrating, take this time and reminisce on the good times. You know, reminisce on the good times. It is okay to cry and shed tears, shed happy tears, but reach out to somebody you hadn't talked to in a long time. Find that family member that owed you $20 that you ain't spoke to, and y'all broke up and y'all ain't friends because they owe you some money. You ain't getting that money if you ain't got it by now. Rub that money under the rug, put it under the bridge, and call them. Reach out to them. Have some fun today on this holiday time. It's not a holiday today, but you know, Christmas. Y'all start Christmas in Halloween now. Halloween come, boom, Christmas. So this is y'all holiday season. Practice being happy and joyous. That's what this is, right? The season for giving and being joyous. I don't knock you for it. Just do it. Go ahead and do it. Be that. Let's do. I got my postcard. I brought it inside because I want to keep reading it. Let's do the pen pal thing, y'all. Find somebody on your feed. Now, don't go crazy and just be giving everybody your address, okay? And let it be somebody you know. Keep it somebody that we all know and all frequent with, right? And keep it safe. If you got a PO box, use your PO box. But let's get into at least people that we know, right? Let's get into writing. Let's be pen pals again. It doesn't cost much to be pen pals. You don't have to write a long letter, but write a letter. Let's do this stuff that we used to do. Let's bring back community. Let's bring back love. Let's teach our children. That's the only way we're going to have neighbors and stuff. We don't have neighbors and we're going to talk to them. So let's do that. I want to do the pen pal thing. I got some. I got to get back. My PO box is full. I got a message. My PO box is full. So I'm hoping I got some stuff in here too. But let's get back to that stuff. September Virgo says, hello, everyone and coach. You were fired last night on live. Thank you. Such a beautiful poetry that you spoke. I heard the voice of the ancestors. Amazing. Listen. If y'all don't know, follow September Virgo. She came to my show Save Our Tuesdays years ago. And actually, I'm going to upload the video. Remember when I did the Save Our Freestyle that night? I have a video of that. And you sat right in the front row. I'm going to upload that when I get home because I was going to post that. I'm going to send you that video. I bet you don't even remember. It blew my mind when I saw it. I was like, get out of town. But I have the one where you were in front row seat at my show, and I did the same word. I think the first time you came, and but I have that. I'm gonna send it to you. But yeah, let's do the happy thing. We could talk about last night. Last night I was on one on poetry. If you're not following one on poetry on Instagram, follow them. And last night I did a feature last night, and there's a thing about doing features for folks that as a poet, you prepare, as an artist, you prepare for at any given time, right? But you never really know what you're performing when you're traveling to a venue or what you're going to do. Pick up man blues. And I know my form of poetry is I do a lot of storytelling poetry because I think we miss a lot of what's happening with the story. We forget the weather. We forget about if we're in a cold climate. We forget if the leaves are falling. We forget if we're hearing the trees and cars going by, traffic. We forget about all of those things. And so I like to write poetry that brings all of that stuff together. And so I did several of those poems last night. I did Trayvon. I did Mike Brown. I did Sandra Bland. I did a dedication. It's a poem that in my mind, it's the ancestors talking to us all. And I address son, I address daughter, I address my children in that poem. I say that, but this is what the ancestors would be saying if they were speaking. And I read it in the tone so that it remains that. And I absolutely love the poem. It's a fairly new poem. But when someone says to you, when you were doing your poetry, they heard the ancestors' voice, that resonates in a different space for me, because I do understand that without them, there's no me. And I do understand that within me, they still live. And I know that being close to this ocean had a lot to do with that. I know that being in this moment had a lot to do with me being able to channel in. I will tell y'all this now. I'll share this. I don't mind sharing this. With certain poems, when I'm reading them, I sit so that I can contain my energy without being overwhelmingly emotional, because those poems are very emotional poems, and I can't do those poems without emotion setting in. And the way in which I did it last night, that's exactly what happened. And I still got a little emotional, but it was such, the pieces are so powerful because I know where they come from. And I know what they mean. I know what they say to me. And I try to portray that to folks when I'm delivering those pieces. I am so excited about so many things that's happening. And part of those poems are going to be in the book my brother Witz and I are working on. And if you've not heard with George Stinney, he does a Yusuf Hawkins poem. He does, Yusuf Hawkins poems is actually two poems in one, but it's amazing. He's got so much work that we have put in this book. I even have, Miss Betty is in the building. I even have a Tamir Rice poem that I'm writing. I have a Fred Hampton poem that I'm writing. So the book we're doing is a book about those people who were murdered here, our family members that were murdered. They're all our family, and that were murdered. And the poems are so heavy. And so it takes a lot to write them, because you have to go to a place when you're, and the delivery has to match what the writing was, where you were at in that moment. And a lot of writers, poets, I encourage you to go ahead and allow the emotion to do the writing. If you remember while you're writing, when you're writing it, you'll never forget it. And so you'll write things that you're not used to writing. You'll say things that you're not used to saying. You'll develop those levels of, this is where I'm supposed to be in this moment kind of levels, and you can remain there. This is why I love what I do as far as coaching people. I want you to feel comfortable in being uncomfortable. And that's where you find your best poems. And whether you be a slam poem, a performance poem, a spoken word artist, whether you're doing videos, whatever you're doing with your work, I want you to feel confident enough in your work that it doesn't matter where you're at, you're willing to do it. I did a show. I did a show at the Davis Theater in Concord, North Carolina. Well, I was performing there at an open mic, and there was probably, it was a packed house, nice auditorium too. I love it. I really wish they would let us inside to do some things. But it was a packed house. I don't know what the seating's like, but it's a pretty big auditorium, packed house. And there was like three black people in the audience, and I was probably two of those black people, right? It was three of them, I was two of them. But only one of the black guy in it that I remember seeing. And I delivered this poem, the piece that I wrote for my mom, called what God looks like. And I did this poem, and it's really uplifting the black woman. It's really dedicated to my mom and her struggle. When I wrote it, that's what was on my mind. And then I saw my mom, and I saw her mother, and I saw the ancestors. And I thought about the ancestors jumped off of the ship so that they wouldn't become slaves, right? They didn't know what they was coming to America to do. So they would grab their babies and hold their babies and fall backwards off of the ships. I thought about them. I thought about the ones who were beaten and raped and mutilated, right? The ones that they're standing pregnant and they would take a knife and cut her womb open, and the fetus will fall, and they would stomp the fetus on the ground, and people have watched this stuff. I thought about all of those things that they went through. And then I thought about all the things they go through now, living in communities that are run down and low income, living in project buildings, having to walk through project buildings, and elevators smell like urine, and defecation and knowing that somebody in this building might try to rob me and I'm scared and I got to know, make sure somebody meets me after all the things that we have to go through and the women have to go through. And black women, and if you're not black and I don't take this personal, I just only know from the experience that I know. Black women have always carried this race. I'm not knocking black men that be great men that have done great things, and even the simple man who goes to work and comes home and take care of his family. But black women have always run this race. They have always taken care of black men. Always. Their position is unmatched. And so I was writing about every aspect of a black woman and where she might have been and what she might have walked in, what she lived in. And those are the poems that resonate so much for me because I'm reminding them who they are and reminding us of who they are. So when we see them as such because the black woman has been so powerful. If you think about, let's just go back to slavery, right? When they would give you scraps, whatever was left over on the table, whatever was left over from the good portions of meat, they said, here, and you feed the plantation, you feed them with whatever's left over. And that's how you got the chitlin and the pig foot and pig snout and pig ears because they didn't eat that. They made us eat that. They fed our ancestors that stuff. And the black woman had to go in there and get those pots rumbling and stirring and finding stuff she could make it, doing bread all day and still having to pick cotton and all these things that she had to do just to let life continue. And had she not, we would not have made it. When they would beat the black men, the black Africans, they would beat them and rip their backs open. They didn't give them no medicine. The black woman had to create and get herbs and roots from the ground and make these kind of paste things and take the water on cloths that she had to clean and put them on the, she had to do all of that stuff. So she was a chemist, she was a chef, she was a doctor, she was a therapist, she was a preacher. She, you know what I'm saying? Like she was it for us. And this is why black women run the church. It's not that the pastor doesn't have a position, his position isn't good, but black women are the ones who bring the flock in. Why? Because she has always been doing it. It's in her DNA. That's why she leads the mosque. You know what I mean? Because that's how we getting them in. There's a black woman standing there somewhere. I don't care if it's a bishop, it's a minister, it's a pastor, a preacher. There's a black woman somewhere leading the flock in. Now you might see pastor up there, but sister so-and-so is doing some heavy work over there. And she's the voice. It's her image. You're looking for her with the big hat coming in the church room. She's always been that. And so when I wrote that poem, that's all that was coming to me. And so I'm teaching you now how to write all the things that come to you, because you can always fix the poem later on. You can fix the poem later on, but you grab all of those entities and you grab all of those ingredients. You know, all y'all meat eaters, you know how they get your steak and then they trim the fat, right? They trim the fat. That's what you do with a poem. That's what you do with a story. That's what you do with a letter. Anything you're writing, you put it all together and you trim the fat. You trim the fat. And that's what I did with that piece. I love it. It's in my first book. Get my first book. It's in that book. If you don't have it, holler at me. Lulu is doing something funky. They slow on delivering some of my stuff, but we got it worked out. They sent me an email. They're getting it straightened out. So those of you who, if you bought a book or sent a book, your book should be in the mail from Lulu. But they had I guess it's holiday time. You know how that is, but you know it's worked out now. And so, but yeah, dig inside. Dig inside. IG kicked me out. Oh, I'm sorry, the blessed one. I'm glad you're back. But dig inside of your writing. Don't be scared of your writing. Don't be scared. Those scary poems end up being some of the best work. In fact, some of the scary poems, the scariest poems I wrote, the hardest poems for me to write, end up opening up for other poems that I was able to write. I was able to write things about. I don't want to do that. That's I'm not going to do that. But I was able to write some things about some horrible things that I've gone through in a relationship. Things that I should not have. You know, I was able to write about children of mine that were aborted without my permission and without me having a say in it. Nobody asked me nothing. It just happened. Just did it. And then, can you bring me this? Can you bring me that? And then you find out I'm coming to your home and this is what you did. And then you wonder why I don't have anything to say to you. I thought about that. There's a saying that I've heard someone say that when you die, you see all your children that you aborted. And so I had to run that back and say, you're going to see these children and, I'm going to see them too, but then I'm going to be able to tell them that I didn't know that this is your decision. And that was a hurtful thing, but I had to write that poem. I had to write that. And I write it because if not, I keep it compartmentalized right here or right here. And I just shift it around depending on what I'm doing. I don't want to do that. Think about it like this. Your bad stuff, your luggage, right? If you don't deal with it, if you don't unpack your luggage, it stays in that bag. But imagine you walk around with the luggage on your back all day, every day. You sleep with it. You walk with it. You work with it. Thank you, Douglas. You walk with it. You have fun with it. Everything you do, you shower with it. You use the restroom with that luggage because you got it on your back. And everything you do, you have to bend to keep it there. Think about it like that. Everything that you've been through that's rough, things that are hard for you to deal with, if you don't deal with it, it's like carrying it on your back. And you have to bend to keep it there. You have to do something in order for it to stay there. Why not do something in order to release it or at least lighten your load? That should be the goal. I want to start to study how to create writing for that because I do it without the intent. It still happens, but I want to be able to intentionally say, okay, this is what you're dealing with because I can do it. I can do it. I actually do it, but I want it to be a point to where people, that's the service they want from me. Listen, I'm dealing with this. I'm not a therapist, right? But I do know one great form of therapy is writing. And so I'm not put it like this. I have not gone to school to be a therapist, but I end up being one anyway with my work. And I'm not mad at that. But that's the things that we have to learn. We have to learn to take our luggage and clean that bag out. Clean that bag out. They should say clean out your pocketbook, but that was a different statement. Clean that bag out. How do we clean that luggage? You know what I'm saying? Your past leads to your blessing. Yes, the blessed one. It sure does. Poets, I believe, are God's conscience on our shoulders. Yes, Miss Betty, you better talk to that. I'm going to pin that up, Miss Betty. I believe that poets are blessed with, they're born with this God-given, we create roadmaps and compasses and through words. We become storytellers in such a way that it speaks past the physical, but it goes into that spiritual realm, right? It speaks way past just the physical part. Because physically you can be present, but spiritually you could be totally someplace else. And when we deliver a poem, when somebody said to look out the window, and there's some pretty trees, and I go, no. Those was once seeds that were watered and treated, and that burst into roots, and then those roots began to grow stems, and those stems began to grow leaves, and they start with budding plant. When you start to go in deep like that, I think it forces people to recircle how they look at things, right? I got a poem that I talk about metaphors, and then I to the metaphor for telling my son, I love you. I love you has so much weight than just saying it. When you know what I mean, like you say it on so many different levels. I love you comes so different for every person you speak to. Even if you have more than one child, your I love you to each child is different. Why? Because your attachment to each child is different. Doesn't make you love one child better than the other. You just love them differently. Why? Because that spirit speaks to you differently. And so when you write words, you are actually coming from an experience that may be similar to somebody else, but it's still totally different the way you receive it. We can all drink from the same cup of coffee, and all of us have a different flavor, a different taste. We may not taste this, we may not taste that. This might be bitter, it might be sweet. There's always going to be different. And even the people who taste the same, it's still not going to be exactly the same. It's still not going to be exactly the same. Same thing happens with words and speech. The vibration in speaking. In fact, the word Jah, the name Jah, a lot of people say, oh yeah, Jah means God, short for Jehovah and Jah. Yes, but the vibration in the word Jah is powerful. Every time you say Jah, there's a vibration. That's a very powerful vibration. And so when I go on the microphone, I say, I'm your host, Jah, Coach Jah, Coach Jah. It's like a chant almost, and the vibration from that name becomes powerful. And it is short for Jahi, which means dignity. It's an African word for dignity, which my cousin passed away. My cousin Thomas, his name was Thomas Jefferson, which again, I don't know how, as dark as he was, his mother named him Thomas Jefferson, but that's the name she picked. But that's what we did. That's what our ancestors did. We did what we did. He was born in Georgetown, South Carolina. Thomas Jefferson was his name. And it's funny that he got back into his African roots and he started studying African history and things like that. And then he's one that started studying African folklore and saw how parallel African folklore was to what we know to be Christianity and stuff like that, and how a lot of the religions have taken African culture and embedded it in religion. And I'm not knocking religion. I'm just saying that a lot of the things that people who are non-Black and non-African descent had taught us stems from what they had learned from what Africa culture had always been. And I think that a lot of times we miss that. We miss the, and it, I hate to say it like this, but I want people to understand that there's such a power in studying what you're studying. Like, where did it come from? Who's the authors and why this author thought that way? And then you start studying what those authors thought about Black people will really make you think differently. Like the people who wrote the school books that we were studying, that we were given in school, those authors, they didn't care nothing about Black people. They were some of the folks who said Black people was the worst thing. And when you start to study what they thought about Black people, how could you accept what they give you? You really can't. And so you need to take it upon yourself to study what you're studying, study what you're believing. And I'm not knocking anybody's faith or belief. I don't do that kind of stuff. That's childish. That's petty. And that's an immature person that's going to knock somebody by the way they believe. I don't believe in doing that. We can disagree about beliefs, but we can never disagree about what are actual facts. And I tell my children this all the time. If I step on your toe, whether it was an accident or not, the way it feels to you will never be the same way it feels to me. So how you receive it is according to what you are going through in your life and what you've been through. Stefan in the building. What's up, bro? After this, we're going to comedian Stefan's page on IG. He does he prays for everybody. They do play some worship music. So if you're on IG, go to comedian Stefan at 11 o'clock. We'll be there. I'll be packing because I got to get out of here and go to the airport. But I'll be listening in. Stefan, I'm sure I'll be packed by the time you tune in, by finishing up, and I'll come on. But I encourage folks to spend this holiday time in encouraging other people, but spend it encouraging yourself. Let's work on ourselves this year. I don't care if you have a New Year's resolution or whatever, but let's work on ourselves. Let's work on bettering ourselves with dealing with ourselves. Okay, let's work on loving ourselves better. You deserve it. You know what I mean? And let's start emptying that book bag. Let's start emptying that book bag. You're simply speaking truth, and truth is not exclusive but to any religion, Coach John. That's right, Miss Betty. Thank you. And let us start to thanks, Stefan. Let us take this holiday season, if you would, right? And I just try to not be disrespectful, because just because I don't celebrate it don't mean I'm against what other people celebrate. But I'm asking you to do this for yourself. Don't do it for me, because I'm only a messenger. It's only up to me to deliver a message. The work is on your side. Bring me back a midget. Be quiet, Stefan. Take this time, this family time, this holiday time that you have, that you've been granted, right? Let's take this time and start learning how to love ourselves. Let's take this time to start really healing ourselves. Now, I'm not telling you that you're supposed to go ahead and face all your challenges right away. I'm not telling you to jump off a bridge with everything. But let's just try to love ourselves. Let's just try to get in the mirror and let's just try to hug ourselves. Let's just try to do something special for ourselves, right? Make yourself that lunch you want. Make yourself that dinner that you've been waiting for. You know, make yourself watch that movie that you've been wanting to watch. Have your tea, take your bubble bath, and get your wine and grapes, whatever you want to do. Do that special thing to treat yourself better sometime during this time. That if you're off from work and you don't have to work, do something. Talk to the children. Listen to the children. And then say, hey, mommy's going to take a bubble bath. Daddy's going to sit back and watch this game. Son, do me one favor. Just can you allow me to have some time with me for me to do what I want to do? Just a little bit of time. And I promise I'll give you whatever time you need. Just please let me have that. Because we don't say it, right? We say, go on the road. I'm trying to watch the game. Go sit down. I'm trying to do this. No, 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 no. Let's change that energy. Let's change it. Gather your children, everybody in your house, say, hey, listen, here's what I'd like to see happen. I want to take a little bit of time for me. I want to take an hour, 40 minutes, 2 hours, whatever it's going to be. I need to have this time for me. And so let me have this time. Would you allow me this time just to be at peace? Talk to your spouse. Hey, listen, I love you. I just want to have an hour alone just to do what I want to do. And that might be going to a pastry shop and having a bagel or drinking a coffee, looking out the window, whatever it is, tea, whatever it is. Let's do that. Read a book. You know, do something outside of what you normally do. Do something different. During this time, while you got time off, right? I don't know if it's one day, I don't know if it's a few days. Do something for you. Something that you've been wanting to do. You keep saying you don't have time to do. Thank you, Auntie, that you don't have time to do, that you don't think, you know, I don't know, because the kids, listen, them kids are going to be okay. They're going to be right there. Them kids are going to be sitting right there. Give them some snacks. Put them in front of the TV like everybody else do. Give them a book. Listen, mommy, daddy needs 1 hour. And you could just be sitting in silence with candles burning, incense burning, whatever it is you need. I want you to do that during this time that you got off. I want you to do that. I want you to find that thing that you love to do. Grab hold to it and do it. Share some time with that. Because that's what you deserve. Buy yourself that new phone you need. Your phone ain't working, get it. Find a way to get it, right? I want to read your book, Coach Josh. Listen, the blessed ones, you can read it. Do you have one? You gotta let me know if you got one. Holler at me. I got you. I'll get you straight. I'll get you hooked up. And I have 3 of them, and then by February we're putting out 3 more. Actually 3 more right away, and then the 4th one right after that. So I'm gonna have a lot of new material coming out that y'all ain't even ready for. I do too, bless. I need the book. Miss Betty, I got you. Well, you know, I'll see y'all on Zoom. We'll work it out. You know, I'll see y'all on Zoom, Stefan. So we'll make it work. We'll make it work. If you're trying to get a book, you need to get in touch with me. Get in touch with me. If you're on this live, you're on the feed, you want a book. Lady V in the building. What's good, Lady V? I'll get you straightened out. Holla at your boy. And I'm hoping that, you know, you get it. And I love the feedback, good and bad, positive and not so positive. I love all the feedback. I love it. But my plan is to take care of me. And that should be your number one. Your number one goal should be taking care of you. One of the phrases I hate when people say, my kids come before everything. Well, guess what? If you don't take care of yourself, your kids are going to come before everything, because yourself ain't going to be here to take care of your kids. And so you have to take care of you first. You have to take care of you first. Now, I'm not talking about buying shoes and who needs shoes first, who need that first. I'm not talking about that stuff. You have to take care of you first. And if you don't take care of you, your kids are in trouble, because somebody else will be taking care of them. And so take time to love you. Take time to love you. Manifest that. Y'all like manifesting things? Manifest that. Manifest that you're going to have a good time loving yourself now during this holiday time, during this special time that you're off. If you're traveling, please be safe. If you're staying home and cook and enjoy, cook with love. Play the music really loud this year. I don't care. Wake the neighbors up. Play your music loud this year. Sing and dance and enjoy life this year. Whatever it is that you need for you, do that this year. A soft laugh. You must love you. Listen, Miss Betty, if you don't love you, who's going to love you? And stop telling yourself nobody's going to love you. You keep saying that and nobody will be able to because you won't let them. Stop telling yourself that. Go look in the damn mirror and start telling yourself that you love you until you start believing it. Until you start believing it. You didn't believe that there's a God for you until somebody taught you. Then you started saying it and then you believed it. You started saying it before you really believed it. You started saying it before you really believed it. Before you believed in your heart, yes, God loves me and God's going to take care of me. Before you believed it in your heart, you started saying it first. You started saying it up here. Then it came out. But before it could really be in here in a place where you know it to be factual, you started saying it. Start telling yourself that. Look, I love you. I don't care what happened to you. I don't care what happened to me yesterday, 2 years ago, when I was 6, when I was 13 or 12. Yep, that happened. And that was horrible what happened to me. But I still love me. And you got to start telling yourself that. That's what I tell me. That's how I make it through what I make it through. I was told I'm a great pretender. I am. But you know how I pretend? Because I start to say it first. You feel good today. You feel better. You feel better. You're not in that much pain. It ain't that bad, bro. Get up. It ain't that bad. I coach myself every day with that. And people don't know that because they don't see it. You see this job. You don't know what the struggle is for me with the things that I have to deal with physically, mentally, and emotionally, even spiritually, because of what I've gone through in my past. So guess what? No, my past wasn't as bad as yours, but it was bad it was for me. And maybe my past was worse than somebody else's. So let me be a witness for you. Start today and start telling yourself, you know what? This backpack has got to go. This backpack of emotions and bad situations and messed up relationships and people calling me names and me calling myself names and treating myself poorly and doing the things that I know I don't need to do for me. All of this stuff in my backpack, this stuff has to go. And start unloading those things. All those emotions and bad ills and those reminders of what's happened to you. Get rid of it. Start today. Start it today. Because if you don't, you're going to be carrying this backpack for the rest of your life. And it's not good for you. You have to keep bending in order to keep that backpack on. You can't even run. You can't walk. You can't sleep because you got that backpack on. But all of that baggage, all of that bad stuff from years ago, decades ago that you just won't let go. Get yourself a notebook, write that stuff down, close it up, put it away. Leave it in the dresser drawer because now you can walk around and you don't have to have it on your back. Find a way to hide it. Find a way to hide it in something else outside of your body. It's time to say goodbye to all my little friends. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I really love this show. I hope y'all enjoy it as much as I do. It's really a great honor to be in front of y'all. And y'all come back every day, so that makes it great. Because without y'all, there's no show, right? I'll be sitting and talking to myself. And I never prepare for these shows. There's no preparation. Even the guests, there's no preparation. We talk, they come in. I don't tell them what to say, what the question is going to be. I don't do that. We just get on. And so I want y'all to understand that this is all what the Creator puts inside of me, and I run with it. And thank y'all for making it possible. As always, I challenge you today to be better than you was yesterday. Be different from what you were yesterday. You have everything you need to be better, to be greater, to be more successful. More importantly than anything else, I challenge you to love yourself today like you've never loved yourself before. Start today. Start in this moment. You have everything you need to be successful, to be amazing, and be great. You have everything you need right now. So go ahead and utilize what the Creator has given you and be blessed. I will see y'all tomorrow morning. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Yes, Auntie, I love that book. We're going to do a Zoom with the family. I'm going to read that book to the family. So we're going to start setting up a Zoom. I love y'all. You too. See y'all later. Auntie, I'll call you once I land back home, okay? Y'all be good. Peace.